Okay. If it cuts off on me again, I don't know. I don't know. That's crazy. Hi, I'm Christina. I work with single mothers that are looking for meaningful relationships. But hey, Miss Carol, but they don't want to go through the heartache of ending up with Mr. Wrong again. I help these women to avoid the habits that attract the wrong men for them, and I show them how to achieve the mindset necessary to help them attract and obtain the Mr. Right. Hey, LOTL, thank you again. I appreciate you. Thank you for the hearts and everything. I hope this works out because I've tried this twice already, and it just kicked me out both times. I'm like, really? What did I do? So, one more time, the subject tonight is relationship roles. I've been fine. Yesterday, I was wrapped up doing hair all day, so I didn't come in. I was done. But I try to get out here more consistently, and, hopefully as time goes on, I won't have as many things hindering from me from coming on the way I would like to. Thank you for inviting followers. Thank you for sharing on Twitter. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. The topic is relationship roles. What should each partner do in their role in the relationship? My answer, the short version, is do what's best for your relationship. Every relationship is different, and the solution that best supports my relationship wouldn't necessarily do anything for yours. If you have a situation where it's a woman that has all these credentials and everything, and she can make a good amount of money, and the guy's having a hard time getting a job, but they have children, hello, he can stay at home, you guys. Do what's best for your relationship. Do not allow yourself to get entangled in these so-called relationship roles. And a lot of this stems from misinterpretations and poor comprehension of things that people have read in the Bible. You can look all throughout the Bible and find scenarios where women work. You can go all throughout the Bible and find scenarios where guys are cooking, and etc. A lot of times people look and they find different scriptures, but they haven't gone through enough to put anything together. So they set up a lot of things that hindered people. They have you set up to think it's supposed to be just like this. And it's like, guys, if you read more and you look more, you understand different scenarios call for different things. It's not all one set standard. And a lot of times when you have people that tell you it has to be like this and this and this, you'll notice they don't even have anybody. It's like, how can you set a standard for what a relationship is supposed to look like? And there's no results, man. I happen to come from a 2-parent home. My father, he was the breadwinner, and my mother did stay at home. And it wasn't because, that's just how it happened. It was because they decided that together. But on the same token, both of my parents cooked. Both of my parents tended to us. And things like that. There was no set, mom has to do all the cooking and all the cleaning and taking care of us. My father happily tended to us. As a matter of fact, on weekends when he was off, we were with him all day. Everywhere he went, when he was hanging out with his homeboys and everything, we were always there, and we were usually the only kids there. We were draped around his neck like a boa or something, We were always around. And people were like, well, why do you have your kids? He said, well, if my kids can't come, then I can't come. I like being around my kids. So if you guys want to see me, that's going to be what that is. And everybody let it go. So most of the time we were always the only kids around. But that worked for our parents. They enjoyed the idea of both of them taking care of us, both of them cooking. I hated the days when my father cooked because, man, to wash dishes after him was outrageous. He messed up every dish in the kitchen. But the food was always wonderful, Both of my parents cooked very well, as a matter of fact, so they shared these responsibilities. And even with Mo, their parents were the same way. In fact, the mother was the breadwinner. She was out working, and the father was at home most of the time because he didn't fare as well finding jobs. He did most of the cooking and the cleaning and everything of that nature. He even taught her how to do the girls' hair. So when you look at different relationships, you have to understand they all work differently. You can't say the formula that works for me is going to work for you, because that's not true. Around here, we both cook, we both clean, we both tend to the kids, blah, 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 blah. But that's what works for us. I know other couples where one or the other may be at home or whatever the scenario may be, but it works for them, you guys. You can't just put a set of this is what needs to happen and expect everybody to be able to fall into that. There are so many different personalities, so many different scenarios. It wouldn't even be right. It would seem robotic almost. And I don't know about you, but I'm happy that people have different personalities, because if they didn't, I sure wouldn't be in front of you talking right now. Because if everybody was like me, we'd be living in beautifully decorated caves, because it wouldn't have crossed my mind to create a cell phone. And definitely not a cell phone with video chatting technology in the works. I'm like, oh, this is so pretty. Let me decorate it. I'm good at decorating, drawing, painting, blah, 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 blah. A lot of stuff. But I wouldn't have thought to go with technology. But I'm glad it exists. And on the same token, I'm pretty sure people are glad people like me exist as far as decorating and everything is concerned, because it makes the world a little less drab of a place. And every one of you have something that makes you unique as well. And without those unique personalities, we wouldn't have what we have right now. I enjoy my place. I enjoy the way it's made and has a lot of different levels of architecture to it and everything like that. I appreciate that. And it's not because of a person like me. It's because of a person who thinks that these angles and things are awesome, and they draw these things out and people build it according to their plan. So we have to respect that everybody is different. And with that, every couple is going to be different. Hey, how are you? Thank you for coming in. And it's a great thing that all couples have their own unique vibe that make them work. And I would never ask you guys to change your dynamic to make you fit this mold that wouldn't necessarily work for you. Because a lot of times when people try to pressure you into this box, it destroys your relationship while they continue doing what they were doing before. Do not allow anyone to force your relationship into a box that fits their standards. Their standards don't work for you. And, I just encourage you guys to find your own niche and groove in life and get with it. The things that work for you, you should work them to the best of your ability. Now, I do understand in certain instances, you can't just do you all the time. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to be who I am at all times. That's not realistic. The reality is you will find yourself in certain positions and things where you can't do exactly what you want to do. And if you do, you might find yourself in jail or etc. You just can't do it. But that doesn't have to apply to your relationship. Your relationship can be handled the way you and your partner see fit. If you feel better about taking out the trash and cutting the grass, and then you have your hubby in the house cooking and cleaning because he happens to be the neater person, then do it. Don't let anybody tell you, hey, how are you? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you so much. Don't let anybody tell you, no, he needs to do the outside stuff and you need to do the inside stuff. Lady, if you suck at cleaning, get out of the way and let him do it. Because I'd rather it be done right than you sit there and try to force the issue just because of the parts on your body. Honey, if you're better at cutting the grass, please go trim that hedge. Please go do it. Nobody has time for that. In the case of my brother, he was more of the type that did the cooking and stuff like that. And then you had his girlfriend. She would be the one to go out and cut the grass and things because my brother had real horrible allergies and asthma, and he couldn't be out there in those elements or he'd have a severe asthma attack. So it was better for her to take care of the yard and him take care of the inside of the house. That's what worked for them, and it was great. The trolls trolls are out tonight. We don't have time. We don't have time. If you guys want to go troll somebody, I'm pretty sure there's another broadcast really cracking. But, thank you for raising my views up. I appreciate you. Seriously, do what's best for your relationship. Period. Yeah, Lisa, they popped up. Hey, and spelled it wrong the same and everything. It's like, oh, really? So we have a cult of trolls. Trolls on the stroll. Not tonight. Not any night in here. But yeah, you just really, really, really have to do what's best for you and yours. If it's better for you to go out and work because with your credentials you're going to make more money, and it's better for him to stay at home and take care of your babies because affording daycare isn't really in the budget, then please do it. Hey, Miss Nikki, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Do what you have to do for your relationship. Thank you for inviting followers. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for the hearts, you guys. And thank you for posting on Twitter and all of the like. I appreciate you guys every time. Miss Nikki, I was talking about relationship roles and how people shouldn't get caught up in what everybody's telling them that it should consist of. They should do what's best for them. Because like I said, what's best for my relationship wouldn't necessarily work for you. It's just not. It's not one template that'll work for everybody. And if you try to base yourself on what everybody else is trying to do, you're going to crash and burn because it didn't necessarily fit you. And we just have to look at that, and we have to pay attention to what's going on in our own personal lives and be sure to be mindful of our partners and what'll work for us. If you listen to everybody else's input, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, instead of customizing it to what works for you, you'll be sorry. You'll be sorry in the long run. You'll have a relationship that you're not happy with and they're not happy with, but everybody else feels like, well, good job, because you're doing what I told you to do. My whole thing is to get you to think for yourself and to do things that's prosperous for you in your relationship. I never want to put it to you in a format where I'm telling you how you should live your life, because that's not okay. You need to live your life for you. And if you sit there and I'm telling you, well, hey, you need to make sure he's opening the door and all of this and blah, 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 I could be setting you up to crash and burn because I don't know what works good for you. You might walk faster than him, and it's cold, and you just want to go in the building, and you're sitting there, you're waiting on him to creak up there and open the door, but he's not cold, you are. Just go in. Just use common sense. You don't have to, well, if he's a gentleman, he's going to get there and he's going to open the door. If he's hobbling on the good leg, he's not going to be able to open the door. Do what's best for your relationship. Like I said, my brother, he didn't cut the grass. He didn't cut the grass not because he wasn't willing to, but because he had severe asthma and allergies. And anytime he attempted to cut the grass, he would have a severe asthma attack and wind up in the hospital. That wasn't going to work for his relationship. So he didn't do the outdoors work. His girlfriend did. Not because he was being a jerk, not because she was trying to be masculine, but because that's what worked for them. And I just try to ask people to understand that. Yeah, you have to be very specific about what you want, what you're looking for, because if you're not, I promise you, you're setting yourself up for failure, because what will work for me will not work for you, and what works for you won't work for Miss Carol, and etc., etc., etc. We're all different, and we're supposed to be. So you definitely have to figure out who you are. You definitely have to figure out what you want, and you definitely have to really put all of this together and comprise a good prayer before you bring this to God. Because if you ask for a man, if you, Lord, I just really want a man, guess what? You're going to get one. And just because you got a man does not mean he's going to be the man for you. You just said you wanted one. You got him. Now you're going to have to learn this lesson. So, be specific because God is specific. Facts. Don't go asking for something and you're not sure about what you want. How many times have you prayed for something and got exactly what you asked for, but it came in a different format because you weren't specific enough? I asked for patience, and I wasn't specific on what I needed patience in. And all of a sudden, everything I had going on was on hold. My projects, my pay, everything was put on hold. I had to wait for every single thing that came my way because I asked for patience. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's what you want. You want patience, huh? I meant I just wanted some more patience in dealing with my family, but I didn't say that. I just said patience, and I caught every piece of that patience. Hey, Angie, how are you? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. So I got what I asked for. And hi, how are you? I've done that on several occasions. I've asked for stuff, got what I wanted, but didn't get it in the format that I wanted because I wasn't being specific enough. So you just got to be careful what you're taking to God, period. Thank you for the super hearts. I appreciate that so much. And that applies to your relationship and everything else. If you're not specific, not even just talking about God, but just talking about your relationship, period. If you're not specific in what you're talking to with your partner, things can go astray and go awry because they're not mind readers. How are they supposed to know what you want if you aren't telling them? A lot of people are like, well, they should know that about me. They should. No, they really shouldn't. They're not mind readers, and you need to tell them. If you want certain things to happen, you should bring this to the forefront, so they can understand what's going on. You guys can have a conversation about it, meet in the middle if necessary. But if you don't discuss anything, how can you really get mad about something that occurred? It's not logical, you guys. Especially when it comes to the inner workings of your relationship. Because you'll sit there and you'll get with somebody and you start going through the motions and it all seems like it's okay until you move in with each other. And then you realize that you have drastically different views of what a relationship is supposed to look like. These are questions you were supposed to ask each other long before moving in ever occurred. When you're just in the light dating phase, you should ask about what they think about certain financial decisions and what they think about child rearing and so on and so forth, so you guys can make sure that you are on the same page with these things, because if you're not, it's not worth entering a relationship. Again, people are so different and we're supposed to be. And a lot of times people hook up with people that absolutely have nothing in common with them and then wonder why they're constantly in a struggle to keep their relationship together. You should not have to constantly struggle to keep your relationship together. Your relationship should flow. There will be little bumps along the way, but these things should be easily resolved, and this shouldn't be something as major as conflicting morals. You know what I mean? If you don't believe in spanking, thank you. If you don't believe in spanking, you need to make sure you get with someone who also doesn't believe in spanking. If you want children, you make sure you get somebody who also wants children. Just so on and so forth. If you do not ask these questions, you just fall in love with having some good dates, a few good conversations. You're going to wind up in a relationship upset because you didn't follow through. You didn't ask enough questions. You didn't know enough about this person. And now you're in a relationship with them and you realize you guys had absolutely nothing in common. And so now you're running around asking people hey, thank you for coming in. how a relationship dynamic is supposed to work, and you have people putting in their input from over here, you have people putting in their input from over there, up here, down here, and all of a sudden you have a bunch of these ideas just circulating around, and you're feeling like that's right, and you're pushing them off on your partner, and this is about to explode. You're setting up a ticking time bomb. The people that you need to discuss your relationship with is you and your partner and the Lord. You got to take all these other parties out of it, because I promise you, everyone's input in there is going to set you up for failure. Facts. If you have a direct problem, yes, so true, Angie. If you have a direct problem with your husband, please talk to him about it. Do not talk to mama, auntie, sisters, and everything else and then wonder why nothing's helping. The person you need to talk to is the only person you haven't talked to. It's not okay, you guys. Your relationship is between you and your partner. You and your partner. Nobody else. You and your partner. And you have to work these things out amongst yourself. And preferably, please do a lot of this questioning before you commit to someone. While you're in your light dating phases, you need to ask these questions. Don't feel like, well, I think I'm being invasive too soon. There's no such thing. You need to know if you guys are even compatible enough to continue dating. So yeah, you need to ask these questions. And hey, thank you so much for coming in, Hidden in Him. If you don't ask these questions, you're setting yourself up for a crash. Because you're looking at him, oh, he's handsome, he's sweet, he paid for the meal, we had some good conversation, he's funny, and he's looking at you, oh, hi, how are you? She's pretty, she has good conversation, she was polite, man, I love this. And then next thing you know, oh, that's good to hear. Next thing you know, you were in this relationship, but you didn't ask any questions. And now all those things you saw in each other at first mean nothing, because you guys don't agree on the kids. You guys don't agree on finances. You guys don't agree with the upkeep and maintenance of the house. You don't agree with squat. Matter of fact, you're tired of looking at him now because you feel like he's just controlling. He paid for the meal because he feels like he should have all the finances in his hand. Even my paycheck, he wants to maintain all the finances. Yes, ask questions, because you can't change anybody and you shouldn't be out there trying to change anybody. Compromising is necessary, but not change. And I'd speak about that in the book that I released not long ago. It's called Love Letters, Becoming Ready to Be Loved. That's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Also, you can get a copy through me. Hit me in my inbox on Facebook, and we can make that happen. I talk about a lot of things in that book, and it's very important, because if you don't know how to navigate the dating system, you're setting yourself up for failure. I don't care what you think. Well, I'm a good person. There are a lot of good people on the planet. Matter of fact, there are very few people who just pop up with the intention of being evil. Most people are decent or have decent qualities about them. That's factual, but their decent qualities may not match your decent qualities. And therefore you have to ask questions. Because again, if you don't, boom, it's going to be a problem. So you got him, he's wanting to control all the finances, including yours. So now he's like, we need a joint bank account, and I'm going to decide where all the money goes. And you don't agree with that in any form. And you're telling him that he can't say such and such to the kids because, because you don't want him talking to the kids like that, even though they're both of your kids. He's mad about that. You're mad about the finances. And then he expects you to cook 3 meals a day, but you work and you really don't have time. And so you guys are clashing because you don't have the same foundational morals. And now you guys are miserable. And some people, end up divorcing other people, remain together, and stay in a state of depression and grief for the remainder of their marriage. They suffer in silence. They don't want people to know how hurt they really are. They don't want people to know that their relationship is failing, and so they're holding on to this dead situation like the jaws of life, like the vice grip, because they don't want people to know that their relationship wasn't successful, and they're holding on to something that is ripping them to shreds, when all you had to do was talk to each other in the beginning. If you're dealing with somebody who doesn't want to answer your questions, guess what? That person's not for you at all. Because when a person is really interested in you, not only are they going to answer your questions, but they're going to ask their own questions because they really are trying to get to know you. Period. So if you have somebody that's invasive, I'm not answering that. Tell them thank you, but bye. Just get up and leave. Save yourself the drama. Walk away. Because why wouldn't you want to talk about it? Why wouldn't you want to talk about what you feel about finances and things like that? How is that invasive? To make sure that you guys are on the same page. Are they hiding something? Because you'll have some people out there telling you they make X amount of money, but then they're not telling you that they have hordes of debt. And so even though they make a lot of money, their outgoing money is a whole lot more than what you expect. And so they live very impoverished because they have bad money management. And meanwhile, you don't have that much money, but you manage it better. And so you guys get together and boom, this is going to crash and burn, because you're going to find yourself having to provide for this other person because they've squandered all of their money, whereas they made it seem like they were on top of their game when you guys met. So it's important to ask questions. It's important to investigate. It's important to know. Everybody doesn't have the same ideas on things, and that is a good thing. We shouldn't all feel the same. If we did, like I said, we wouldn't have any diversity. I wouldn't be speaking to you today. None of it. We have to be different. But you have to make sure you find somebody who matches your different. Because again, you have to have enough in common for you guys to get along. But you have to have enough different to complement each other. Because, hey, Miss Lorraine, thank you for coming in. Because if you're exactly alike, you're going to make each other miserable. Imagine, you don't like washing the dishes. You get with somebody that doesn't like washing the dishes. Who's going to do it? Whoever does it, hey, how are you? Whoever does it is about to be miserable because they're going to be ticked off that they had to be subjected to the whims of the other. So why go through that? You don't like washing dishes? Find somebody who can't stand for there to be a dish in the sink. So it's in there. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for watching me so much. Find somebody who wants to go get in there and wash those dishes and don't leave a speck on the plate. That works good for you, right? If you're the type of person you don't like to drive, don't get with somebody else that doesn't like to drive. Who's gonna drive? We can keep going and going and going. Thank you for inviting your followers. I appreciate you so much. So we can just keep on going with this. If you don't like to drive, don't hook up with Miss Daisy because you're going to have to drive her. And we just don't want that to happen. It's not okay. So when it comes to relationship roles, it's truly based on your unique relationships. It's based on how you see your relationship going. And then you have to learn about yourself, how you like your environment to feel. Then you take what you know about yourself, incorporate that into what you want from your partner. And that gives you the blueprint to help you narrow down the type of person that you need to be with. Yes, Miss Lorraine, it's very true. So once you figure out what type of person you need to be with, you'll start seeing them in the crowd. Yeah, If you don't know what you want, you won't see it. If you go in the store and you're thinking about picking up an outfit, but you have no idea what this outfit looks like, you just know it needs to look good for you to go to a certain place. If you don't have any ideas, you're going to get frustrated. I don't know what to wear. I don't know what to wear. And you're going to get aggravated, and you're more than likely going to stomp out of there without anything. And then you're going to wear something old in your closet that you weren't happy with. Same thing works with dating. If you don't know what you want, you're going to irritate yourself. And then you're going to fall back on plan B. Somebody that you had from back in the day. Somebody you vibe with that you just kept in the Rolodex. And if you've been watching me for long, you know that I said you have to put that Rolodex away. If you're serious about finding a relationship, that Rolodex has to go. So, you got to know what you want. And then if you go in the clothing store and you have an idea of what you want, like, well, I need something that's all black and really lovely because it's going to be an all black affair. And you go in there, then you have an idea of what you want. You know what you're looking for. You see the areas where the black clothing is. You can go over there, pull what you want, try on some things, and get what you like and get out of there. Go to the party in style. Same thing with your relationship. If you know what you want and you can home in on it, you can sift through these guys that you're not interested in, or these ladies, for the fellas, you can sift through them, home in on what you want, and boom, go to the party in style. The party being the home front. That's just facts out here. Don't set yourself up for failure. It's not okay. Don't let anybody tell you how to run your relationship, because they all have their own ideas. For instance, I can't tell my sisters how to run their relationship. Why? Because we're all different. All three of us were raised by the same two parents and everything, but we are all completely unique individuals. While we do have some similarities, because of course we look a lot alike, we have the same two parents, we have a lot of the same personality traits because genetics, and we were raised by the same two parents. But we also have our unique qualities, which means things that I like is not necessarily something they will like. For instance, my favorite color in the whole world is burnt orange. But if you try to give my sisters anything that's burnt orange, you might get a burnt orange look. Because they just, are not interested in that at all. One of my sister's favorite color is burgundy, and then the other one likes blue. So there you go. And that's just as simple as a color. That's not even going into depths of how we like to live. Because all three of us are absolutely different. And we would never date the same guys. Ever. I find their choices to be appalling. And I'm pretty sure they find my choices to be appalling as well. So you have to keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, when you're looking for your mate. Don't take information and guidelines from people who are looking for their mate, because it's not going to match up with you at all. I'm telling you, you think that I was morning, one of my sisters was evening, and the other one was night. We are that vastly different when it comes to our types and guys and things like that. It's like, oh, so cringeworthy. But I'm pretty sure they feel the same way about me, and there's nothing wrong with that, because hey, we're individuals, and my mom has a different type than we do, and thank goodness we wouldn't be here if she didn't. Because if she didn't hook up with our dad, we would not be here. So I'm glad nobody deterred her from what she wanted. And you shouldn't let anybody deter you from what you want. Don't let anybody else's set of regulations and standards keep you from being with who you want to be with. A lot of times people don't hook up because they're like, man, what will my family and friends say about this person? Unless they have valid complaints about this person, you shouldn't care, because it's going to be your relationship. Now, if this person is hidden and doing some craziness and your family doesn't approve of it, that's obvious, right? That's problematic. But if they don't like this person because, say, they're like, yeah, I don't want you to date outside your race. Nobody has time for that. Nobody. Most of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for some kind of interracial dating or actions that took place. I know I wouldn't. And that's just point blank and period. It's facts. Facts. You don't get this from just, okay. there are certain qualities that I have that make that a very obvious thing that some interracial something took place. And there's nothing wrong with that, So if they're tripping about something like that, or they don't like this person's job, or blah, 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 throw it in the trash. Keep moving ahead, But if they do have a legitimate complaint, take heed. But don't let them run your life. I just ask you to think about what you really want, what you really need, what really needs to be going on in your house. Because if you're a type of person, you like wood floors, but the person you hooked up with likes carpet, it's going to be a problem. It just is. You may be able to compromise, be like, we can have wood floors, but we need aerial rugs. That's only if the person's willing to compromise. And in a relationship, you absolutely have to. You have to be willing to compromise. A lot of people say, don't compromise anything. It's like you have to. You compromise on a daily basis. You can't just run around the world doing what you want to do when you want to do it. When you go to a job, you are submitting yourself to the whims of your employer. If your employer tells you they want you to, yes, they do. People always want to put their 2 cents in your relationship. And it's generally because we open doors for them. Billy did this to me. And then they're like, girl, I wouldn't let Billy do that to me. Girl. And next thing you know, they're all in your business. They're all in your relationship. But it's because you opened the door and left it open. In most cases. Sometimes you have, hey, thank you for coming in. Sometimes you have overbearing people that just, okay, I'll see you when you get back. There are overwhelming people that just kind of hover around your relationship. You don't do what I say because I told you this and blah, blah, blah. And they harass your man and everything. You're like, what's wrong with you guys? I'm sorry. And he's like, I can't deal with your crazy family, So I understand things like this do happen. But in those cases, you have to put your foot down anyway. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be with them. That's the person you plan to spend the rest of your life with. Not your family, not the homies, none of that. Your mate. Yes. Yeah, I'm telling you, they will do it. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile and will try to take 2 or 3 miles if you let them. So you have to make sure you put up those barriers, like, look, there are boundaries here. Calm down, do what's best for you. Do what's best for you. But like I said, you'll compromise no matter where you go. If you have a boss and they tell you they want you to do data entry today, you can't look at them and say, I'm not typing in squat on the computer. I'm going to get on Facebook and you're still going to pay me. And then prop up your feet and get on Facebook. You're getting fired. Facts. So you're going to have to do what you were told to do. And that's not up for negotiation at all. And there's the same thing, like, say, if you come to my house, I'm going to ask you to take your shoes off. You can't tell me, I'm going to do me, and I'm keeping my shoes. It's like, oh, you're going to take your shoes off, or you're going to get out of my house because it's my house. So it's always going to be something where you're doing something that you didn't necessarily want to do. And the best thing to do in those cases is to come up with a solution that works best for both of you guys. It's like, well, is it okay if I remove my shoes, but I keep my socks on? That works. That's a compromise. Instead of me having you running around barefoot, you still have your socks on so you still feel secure, but you don't have your shoes on tracking mud through my house. There's a difference. Compromise is necessary. It's working out an agreement to resolve a disagreement. That is the definition of compromise. for some reason, people have taken this word and they use it to mean that you throw all your values away in favor of someone else's. And that's not the truth. Get a dictionary. It's beautiful. When it comes to getting rid of your values and making them adapt to someone else's, that's change. That is change. Do not allow people to change you. Because, no, you should still be who you are. But understand there's limitations to everything. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you. I understand. Matter of fact, I'm not going to be on here much longer either. Because, I do have to get up early in the morning. I do have a chiropractic appointment and everything like that. So I do have to go to bed so that I can wake up early and get that taken care of. But, I wanted to make sure I got on here tonight. Last night I was busy. I was doing hair for a ridiculous amount of time. And so by the time I was done, I was like, it is entirely too late to scope. Okay, you have a good night, Miss Nikki, and I'll see you tomorrow. As a matter of fact, you guys, I'm going to jump off of here because really, I do have to get up early in the morning. And remember, my answer is, there are no gender-based roles in a relationship. Do what's best for your relationship, or you're going to end up living someone else's relationship, and that's not okay. Thank you guys for the hearts. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for spending your time in here with me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate you. To my replay viewers, thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you guys with all my heart. I see you all the time, and I thank you guys for your hearts and your shares and spending time with me as well, because even though you're not here in person, you make a big impact on what I have going on, and you guys are the reason that I keep coming in here, because there's something that I'm saying that is helping you, and I want to continue to be that help as long as I can be that help. You guys, if you haven't checked it out already, check out my book that I released not long ago. It's called Love Letters, Becoming Ready to Be Loved. It's available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Also, I have a freebie for you guys about online dating. Sometimes people set up their profiles and they don't understand why people aren't looking at them for anything real. They're looking at them for, say, a one-night stand or something like that, and that's not what they're looking for. So I made a PDF form that gives you the basics of what you need to include on your online dating profile, so that you can have better success at getting something serious. Again, if it wasn't for online dating, I wouldn't be married right now. So you can go to that by going to bit.ly online, D as in dating, P as in profile. And that will get you the list of those things, so you can check that out and get your online dating profile together. Because if you're not serious, you're not going to get someone else that's serious. One thing, if you have your username as Dripping Cherry Fireball, you can't really expect anything serious. They're looking for the fireball, okay? Just keep that in mind. So for the other recommendations and things like that, please go check that out. Also, if you have questions for me, you can inbox me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Christina Walton Lewis. You can contact me via email. It is christina83.walton@gmail.com. I also have a business page on Facebook. It is called Walton Lewis Enterprises. Please check that out. Give me some likes. Share it out. Show me some love, you guys. If you want to ask questions that you want me to scope about and everything like that, you can either ask me via inbox, or you can join the Facebook group and get in on the action. That is bit.ly/real talk, the number 4, the letter U. That will give you access to that group, and you can ask questions that you want us to expound upon, and I can come and scope about it, or we can discuss it right there in the group. Remember, if it's something private and you don't want anybody to know about it, just hit me up in the inbox or my email. I'll respond to you personally so that it doesn't have to go out to everyone else, because I do understand there are private matters that you don't want to share. There are plenty of times where people do come to me with private matters and I don't bring it to the forefront. So I understand confidentiality, confidentiality, I can't even talk right now, is important to me. So make sure you do that. And you guys, with that, I'm going to get off of here. I thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you all the time. And if everything goes well, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, you guys. Good night.